in which I interview Arnold McBay about his forthcoming art show at the Riverbrink Art Museum in Queenston, Ontario, June 20th and 21st, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Arnold is an old friend of mine and creates really interesting work. I'm interviewing about a series of drawings with ink and water of circular shapes that I find fascinating. But I wanted to ask you about the series of circular drawings that you do. You have quite a few of these circles done in ink, I guess, right? The
India ink.
India ink.
Yes.
I'm interested that they they're all the same in that they're a circle, but they're very different in terms of specific details. And I was
Yes.
interested in how you think about them. Like what do you think they're doing, Arnold? Because
Well,
they're really intriguing.
they're doing everything. I'm doing very little. All I'm, at this stage of the game, I might
That
include
tracks. Yeah. Yeah.
myself. Prior to this body of work, every single mark had some sort of, process behind it that I was engaged with. And the way I make these pieces is simply I lay down some water in a circular pattern or circular-ish pattern or form, and I get either a bamboo nib or pen or brush, get a little bit of ink, and I just run it through the water, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, and I just basically let the forces of nature take over and make the drawing itself. Now I stage it, so I'm involved in the process at the
Right.
beginning, but then I watch the drawing actually make itself, sometimes literally. Uh,
Yeah. And
yeah,
the circular aspect of it, because it reminds me of those Japanese the wide brush paintings that people do like at a particular
yes.
Zen moment. And it feels like it's
Mhm.
connected, especially when you've talked about the process where you're letting go of intent or of ego or whatever you might in the
Which is
John Cage
exactly
Zen
the,
sense.
yeah, that's exactly the exercise in these pieces. That's been an undercurrent in much of my career, is to not get overly obsessed with controlling the process, letting it flow.
Hmm.
And this was the end product in, I guess, the 35 years of working, that to really push that to its absolute limit.
And it feels then it becomes about as you said, it doesn't it's not about you, but it becomes about the
No.
ink. It becomes about I guess looking to see how things behave, particularly
Mhm.
how ink behaves in the
Yeah,
world.
it's very much so. I've always been thrilled with the processes that unfold on a material level,
Hmm.
like my whole career. I love how things change.
Now
And
you've frozen. There's yeah.
oh, have I frozen still?
That's good. See the yeah, oh no, you're back. But see, there's perfect process that stuff happens and you go with it. And sometimes
Yes.
the actual materiality of the medium of the Zoom uh manifests itself in surprising
As
ways.
yeah, it's wormed its way into the process here. But yeah, I mean that's been a recurring interest and element in my practice for my whole career.
No, that's
Uh,
really interesting. And can you tell me about this it's you've chosen to make it circular?
well, not all of them are.
Oh,
A
okay.
lot of that body of work, there was little digressions where I explored line forms and minor grid forms and controlled, sort of slightly controlled grids, anyways. But I was really interested in the circular form, which has been a bit of a preoccupation for a long time for me. Globular forms, cellular forms, the sun, the moon, things like that. And of course, there's the stroke. There's
Right.
something very relaxing about the process of just running your hand around in a
And it
circle.
begin and I mean it looks like that when you're reading it, you're reading it and then
Yeah.
you begin the end is the beginning. I mean it's
Yep.
so that there's no or there isn't any beginning and there isn't any end because it's
Exactly.
continuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it
Yeah. Nope.
with other than the making, which is the paper, the ink, and the water. But just the
Yes.
fact that it's like that water is in a way the artist, the process is water. Well, water and physics. I mean,
Yes.
I know you're doing that, but what happens to the ink and your movement is as a result of the water, how much water, how it's
Yes.
absorbed, how the speed that you're going through the water, all of those
Oh,
elements.
there's a whole myriad of processes that unfold that all depend on a wide variety of variables. How, like you just said, how much water is on there makes a huge difference. For example, the size of the drawing utensil that I use, and so forth. I could go on and on about it.
And how do
Um,
you think, like the viewer, like the person coming before it, like how do you imagine them reading it or interacting with it or engaging with it?
well, I think honestly, I think there's something very pleasing about the wholeness of a circular form.
Hmm.
And I think that it, to some extent, is a very it's an agreeable form that I think just sort of appeals to the eye itself.
Hmm.
And there's something maybe reassuring about its form, the idea of wholeness, for example.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I'm interested in is that these works tend to have two layers of I don't want to say the word appeal, but I'm going to say the word of appeal. They manifest themselves visually, from a distance of 6 or 7 feet as these lovely forms. But when you get up close, there's an entire world of really, I don't want to say microscopic, but very, very small details, and you don't
Yes.
see them at all. And though that's really what captivated me about this process, which happened one afternoon in my office during a lunch break at work. I was just experimenting.
And
Uh,
then the difference between the individual ones, because they're all the sort of, oh yeah, they're all circles, except the details are incredibly various.
oh yeah, oh there's a whole world of different details. Who knows what informs those processes that form those little details? But there's this lovely little world at the, like, 10-inch level that you don't see
Hmm.
at all. So there's something beautiful about that kind of process. So if a viewer takes that time to actually go up close after reading it or seeing it or appreciating it, or not,
Yeah,
from the usual sort of, what is it, 8, 10 feet, people will look at a work of art. If they
right.
actually go up front, up close to it, then they're rewarded, I hope, with another experience as well. The same experience that I had when I first started these works.
Mm,
It was
mm.
like, oh
Oh,
my God, look at what's happening. And I would literally see these drawings make themselves.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally get that. So just finally, and the show, the show is next weekend, which is, do you have the details? Do you know the details?
Yes, I do. Come to the show, damn it. It's a spot. Well, actually, it's not a show. It's a spotlight, a studio spotlight at the Riverbrink Art Museum in Queenston, Ontario. And it's on the 20th and the 21st of this month, and runs between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And I'm looking forward to sharing the work and my processes with whoever comes out on the Father's Day weekend. I'll be actually making things too while I'm there. This is really more, as I said, a studio spotlight. So my objective
Mm.
really is to not only share the work, but to talk to people. And of course, people can see me in the wild, so to speak, tinkering
Cool.
away,
And
making.
I tend to come and cry all over it, so I get my all my water just changes the process. It's going to be great. It's going to be excellent. Okay,
Awesome. That's
thanks, Eddie.
fantastic. We can have a whole collaborative body of work. These are Gary's tears.
Excellent. Thanks, Ernie.